Smooth as a gravy sandwich.
Yeah.
Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com. Great to have you along today. Sully, Rusty Nails. COVID seems to be on the brains of everyone.
Well, yeah.
And I will tell you, COVID has pointed out the need for one thing. And my good friend Rob Mattacchione, who's the CEO and board chair of Novo Integrated, who's a publicly traded company under the stock symbol NVOS, talk to us about the need for decentralized healthcare, meaning that we can't, if there's a cootie out there,
Yeah.
people don't all want to, the last place I want to be is a doctor's office right
Correct.
now.
Still,
Last place I want to be is a
ER.
I tell you, the dentist appointment, I'm a little freaked out about
Yeah.
that too. It's like,
wear a mask.
yeah, well, you have to, I think. Do you have to wear a mask?
Yeah, they drill through the mask
Through the mask?
first and then go right.
It's like a trampoline. You know, the funny part, do you still carry masks in the car?
I have a load of them.
I never took mine out, and I realized, you don't, Molly, you don't?
Mm-hmm.
You're a millennial. You don't carry a mask? You're a Gen Z or something like that.
And I see them like discarded like cigarette butts and, you know.
Oh, they're on the ground. Oh, yeah, there's mask pollution. You think the plastic bottle problem's big? The mask pollution problem's
We're
big.
going to see a sea turtle with a giant mask over his face going,
But the problem is, and I'm going to bring Rob up in a second here. Decentralized healthcare is going to be here to say. He is so in the right place at the right time. Rob Mattacchione, once again, CEO and board chair of Novo Integrated. Rob, isn't that right? I mean, look at we hate to delight in the pain of others, but this new Delta variant is making it so people don't want to go anywhere near a hospital, doctor's office, dentist's office, eye doctor, anything like that. Correct?
Yeah, you're right, Sully, and forgive me, I'm having a little bit of a hard time here with the audio, but I can tell you you're 100% right in that assessment. People don't want to get out there. It's funny, though, you got both sides of the spectrum. When it comes to getting out and having some fun and letting loose, you get this big rush. But when it comes to healthcare, people are cautious. And so whatever we can do to embrace a bit of the stay-at-home atmosphere from the health perspective side is important. And that's what decentralized healthcare is all about.
Rob, does this Delta variant change anything for you at Novo with respect to your model? Because look, COVID has really enhanced the need for decentralized healthcare, as you mentioned. This Delta variant, and now we hear there's a Gamma variant coming and a Lambda variant, it's only going to boost what you guys do. Does it change your plans at all?
No, Sully. I mean, in the end, we'd like to keep things open. So we're hoping that this next wave that we're going to experience is not going to force a shutdown. But from our perspective, I think it speaks really to the absolute necessity of embracing technology. We've accustomed ourselves in the practice of healthcare to run to a doctor whenever we feel anything. And really this last year and a half has changed that philosophy. But I think we can go back to that. If we embrace the technology that's available to us and we apply our tools, we can feel right at home at doing the things we used to do before, except doing them from more of a remote perspective or using some sophisticated technologies like we have at Novo.
Well, and the one thing, Rob, that I want to point out is that this is somewhat like mobile banking when it first came out. People were reluctant of the technology, even going back to the ATM card.
Yeah.
People were like, how do you get the adoptability quotient up higher on telemedicine and the technology that you're referring to?
That's it's a great analogy, actually, and thank you for bringing it up to me because I'll use it in the future. But we're really about the protection of the data, and that's what you really have to emphasize, that the technology at hand is such that it's very, very secure. And that's really what's important. You need to be able to create security around the information that's being transmitted back and forth. Our technology in particular uses peripherals and different protocols that is a lot more in depth than what you're experienced with in terms of the normal screen to screen application. And then we're really, on the forefront of blockchain and that technology with respects to all the transmission of information. So we're really excited about our tools in particular and how they address those primary concerns and how they'll, I think, accelerate adoption even further.
And of course, the blockchain has to do with again, transparency as well as safety of data. I mean, isn't that really, as you just mentioned, that's going to be first and foremost. But isn't that what the blockchain, in this instance, you guys are modifying the blockchain for that very purpose?
Yeah, it does that. It secures data, but it also allows a broader, let's say, application to stakeholders' involvement in the wellness approach and the entire healthcare model, rather. And that's super, super important, because the way decentralized healthcare works is having a broad scope of participants, so that you can get, the proper interaction of information, both from diagnosis and treatment perspective. So blockchain is super comprehensive and super important in everything that we're doing.
Talk about product solutions for preventative healthcare. We've talked about reactive versus responsive. Are we supposed to be buying stuff now? Is that stuff going to be? Do we need the eye stethoscope or the eye thermometer and stuff? I mean,
hook it up.
What does that look like for the consumer going forward, man?
Yeah, well, the peripherals that we're referring to require some technical assistance. So it's not something you're going to do from your home, but it is something that you're going to be able to do in one of our clinics, in one of our stakeholder clinics, in one of our network partners, which, we're coast to coast, and we're going to be north and south across both countries in a very, very big way. But from the perspective of products themselves, as you know, we just recently completed an acquisition that speaks very, very specifically to the product solution, and products in twofold. Number one, how we use tools to assess, but number two, then how we treat, and how we're proactive as well as preactive to certain conditions. And the products become super important in addressing that very concern.
And let's talk about that acquisition a little bit. Just to review, talk about the acquisition for the folks that may not see the press release.
Yeah, we're excited about it. The focus of the business, the primary focus of the business, is product manufacturing. So we want to customize the product solutions that we come up with. We want them a part of all treatment plans, but we also want them a part of a wellness model that we believe enhances the entire philosophy around decentralized healthcare. But one of the really, really cool things that came with that acquisition is an oncology patent that we're on the verge of commercializing. And we got some videos that are coming out shortly. You really got to get a look at that and see how incredible this technology is and what it means to those unfortunate people who do have cancer and have to deal with it on a daily basis, and how it really applies to our decentralized model, because it's available to all.
Well, and we'll show that on as soon as you guys release that stuff. Thank you so much, Rob. Rob Mattacchione, CEO, Board Chair, Novo Integrated.
Much better way.
NVOS. NovoIntegrated.com. There you go. Exciting stuff, because this COVID thing ain't going away anytime soon.
New variants: Alpha, Chi, Omega.
No, those are fraternities, Russ.
Oh.
It's not the same thing. Big Biz Show.